go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Masters Fantasy Show, brought to you by mastersfantasyfootballleagues.com. Got the doc with me today. What's up, man? How's it going?
It's going great. Ready to talk football.
Yeah, me too. Got a great episode for you guys today. Obviously, some bad news this past week with Cam Akers. Some good news if you're a Darrell Henderson owner. Me and the doc are going to dive into that, take a look at some recent trades and dynasty leagues. Before we do, man, if you could hit the like and subscribe button, come be a part of the Masters family. If you're looking for a place to play Dynasty Football, we got over 600 leagues, never folded a single one, redraft football every single night all the way till kickoff. With that said, though, let's jump into this, man. And right before we jump into these trades, I know I haven't talked to you a ton about Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson. Just wanted to pass it over to you. And let's start with Cam Akers, man. Like, your thoughts on Cam Akers and, I mean, his value in a Dynasty league.
Yeah, it's funny because I was actually talking to Alec about this quite a bit, too, since he has a lot of Cam Akers shares. Obviously, if you've watched the channel, you know he's pretty big on Cam Akers.
And I'm not.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, it's kind of upsetting because it seemed like he was in a perfect situation this year, and it was going to be a good indicator of whether he was, all that he's being hyped up as. And now, an injury like an Achilles, it's something we don't really see, a lot of guys come back from at 100%. I mean, there's always like a little bit of explosion gone that never really returns. And granted, though, I mean, the last time you've seen a running back like blow an Achilles that was like actually good, you have to go back quite a ways. I think what I read was like Mikel LaShore, like someone that actually had fantasy value. So like it's been a while, so there really isn't a ton of new evidence to see. Cam Akers is a really young guy, only 21 years old. So, I mean, it'll be kind of interesting to see how he comes back from it. And he might be able to break the mold because we haven't really seen it. I'm not willing to be like, oh, Achilles, Cam Akers is done. Because, again, we're not quite sure. Things have changed a lot since the last time we saw a running back in his position get hurt like this. So I have faith that he can return to, what he looked like towards the end of last season. But, there is a lot of risk in that. So that's where dynasty value, it's kind of tough for me to make a call on it. And I honestly feel like any trade of Cam Akers at this point is probably like a rush decision that probably shouldn't have been made.
I can see that too. It's been a tough week with trades because, I mean, the minute the news, I mean, that's all you see is Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson. Right. You're trying to make, decisions in these dynasty leagues based on how valuable it is and just have no clue going forward. Yeah. And honestly, it kind of reflected in some of the trades because they were all over the place. Some guys were getting more value, some guys were getting less value.
Right.
But I had actually read something that I thought was pretty smart on it, and I personally think if you're a Cam Akers owner, you trade him now while he has a little bit of that shine that he had a week ago still, because I think that's only going to fade as the year goes along. And, I mean, like you said, man, it's just an injury. I mean, most guys don't bounce back from, especially, running backs, we're already writing them off at 25, 26 years old.
Yeah, that aspect of it hurts as well.
Add this injury, rehab. I don't know. I'm very, very worried, and I'd be looking to pass on from them. But, hey, let's jump into some of these trades. First one popping up on the screen here. This one's – there's actually a couple of these kind of cool when you see it's Akers and Henderson getting shipped out. But Akers, Henderson, the 1.6. For Zach Moss, Michael Thomas, another guy, from the 1.4.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, Michael Thomas, another one that it's disappointing that, I don't know, not pointing fingers at him or the medical staff. I don't know what happened, but, if you thought he needed surgery for that ankle that he hurt twice last year, I don't know why you wait till June. Even if you wanted to give it some time to heal, that's fine, but to give it that much time, if it's not working, it's not working. Right. So I don't know what they waited for, but that stinks for Michael Thomas owners. I still, looking at this trade, I think I like Zach Moss to really blow up this year. So for that reason, I kind of like this side of the trade as well as that 1.4, because as we've talked about, that top 4 picks puts you in range for a truly elite player in this draft, in the rookie draft, I should say. And as good as I think Henderson will be, kind of like coming in, filling in for Akers, I just don't really see him, long term. I don't know. I understand you're getting both of them, but I don't see either really. Akers maybe, but I don't see Henderson ever being like a true bell cow, and Akers now, his chances of returning to that are a lot more up in the air than they were a few days ago.
Sure, yeah, because I've seen Henderson bringing like a 1.
And I think that's crazy. I get it, but again, that's kind of like that's a panic decision. You got to let things settle a little bit. He looked really good at times last year. Very solid player, and I actually like him a lot. But I mean, even then, to give a 1. I mean, unless you really think you're like one solid running back away from a championship, I just can't see myself doing it in Dynasty.
Because I got the offer a couple times, and I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, it's tough.
I needed to talk to you, Doc, to find out. What am I doing with Darrell Henderson, man? Like,
I mean, yeah, I think the only way I'm trading a 1 for him is if I know like I need like 15 points out of the running back slot, I'm good.
I mean, the only reason I consider it is because nothing's changed. Like all the great stuff that we loved for Cam Akers, it's now given to Henderson.
Right, and if anything, well, I guess it's probably about the same sample size. I was going to say we've seen probably more of a sample size with Henderson, but they're probably about the same. Either way, I mean, we've seen Henderson can produce in that offense as well. And at this point, there's really no other running back there to kind of challenge him. Like, at least Malcolm Brown was there last year to kind of push him for a couple carries. Now, I mean, it's his show for this season. For the time being. They could always add somebody still.
And just a quick note on Michael Thomas. And I don't know if I thought of A.J. Green when I heard that. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
Just something very similar about it. It kind of made me nervous. And then you see, A.J. Green's just never been the same. But I just remember him being at training camp, and all of a sudden he was hurt again. And he's got to have surgery, ligaments maybe, something similar.
You say it too, and it's like, well, A.J. Green's older. But realistically, when he first started having issues.
28.
Yeah. So, it's something to think about. I mean, I still have faith in Thomas this year to bounce back. But, I mean, it's not a good look thus far.
All right, here's the next trade. This was kind of interesting, kind of gauge how you feel. Because I know these guys, he loved Cam Akers a week ago. So, I mean, dude, straight up Cam Akers for Myles Gaskin. What you doing?
And we just kind of talked about Gaskin on the last show. I mean, I feel like it's hard to make that trade for just Gaskin. I mean, I understand he's produced, but that's one season. And, I mean, again, he's kind of in that mold of guys that, never really is a full, true bell cow. And I don't know. Maybe it's just me being biased towards the smaller running backs and thinking they're just automatically going to bring someone else in. They actually do have Malcolm Brown. So, I don't really think he takes away a ton. But either way, I mean, Gaskin himself is kind of up in the air in his situation. So, honestly, for me, I think I might bet on Akers on this one still. And that might be wrong. If Gaskin has another good year, then I'll eat all the crow there is because, at this point, I just can't put too much faith in him. Yeah. It's too worrisome for me now.
I'm with you. I think I'll actually take the guy with 2 feet in this one. I'm worried about Akers, man.
I can't fault that at all because honestly, there's a good chance you're getting a solid PPR running back who's got running back 1 potential pretty consistently.
And I've just been reading a lot of stuff too, man, where Akers could be done.
I mean, he could be. You never know. That's the thing. That's why it's risky making any of these trades, which is why I go back to my first warning. Just don't make them. Just hold on for a second.
I've been telling you guys to sell Cam Akers anyway. So.
Now it's too late. Yeah. Now his value's down. Let it come back up. When you hear all these rumors like a year from now, they're like, oh, Cam Akers is back and he looks great, which you're going to hear. Yeah. Then you can make those trades.
And I think and just another strategy, if I was a Cam Akers owner, I say sell. I mean, I'd be trying to, still get some value out of them.
Yeah.
I think another thing you could do would be wait a couple weeks into the season, find a guy who's losing.
Yeah.
And then, automatically you're offering him a running back for next year.
Right.
He starts to think, well, maybe he comes back. Starts thinking about how valuable he was a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
So that'd be something I'd be looking to do. All right, next trade popping up. We got Aaron Jones in the 1.12, Cam Akers, the 7 and the 9. Your thoughts?
Wow. Well, see, now Aaron Jones is kind of interesting because now we know at least he's got 1 more year with Aaron Rodgers.
Looking a lot better.
Yeah. So at least we know for sure 1 year Aaron Jones is going to get, probably the same amount of targets that he's gotten and touches, which, is going to equate to most likely a top 5 running back season. Man, that's tough.
Did you see I seen Rodgers in an interview today, I just seen a little headline from it. It said he wanted to be a Packer for life. Did you actually watch it and see that?
No, I didn't. I didn't watch it. I
didn't know if somebody just made it up or if
It
that was
could.
actually true.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just seems odd he'd come there today and say, I want to be a Packer forever.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be very weird.
That's what I thought.
I don't know. The whole situation's weird to me.
A little bit.
Like how they were just like done, not going back, and all of a sudden, yeah, okay, we'll do it. One more year.
And I had read too, like where he was asking for the 2 years, $90 million, which put him up there with like Patrick Mahomes money, which I didn't hate for Rodgers. Like for 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's earned it.
I think he's could be just as good as Patrick Mahomes for the next 2 seasons.
Right. I mean, I think about it this way: the Packers. I mean, if anyone's going to do it, it should be them. They've been this close to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. I mean, just pay him, make him happy, give him a couple weapons, and try to win. And then if it doesn't work out, he's gone in 2 years. Yeah. It's not like Mahomes, who you're tied to for like the next 20 years, and with all that money tied to him. I mean,
yeah. Speaking of Rodgers, I know we're getting a little off topic, but found this interesting. The Rodgers news yesterday, the first redraft that night, Devontae Adams, the 3 pick.
Yeah, I think that's a good move.
And I didn't hate it at all.
Oh yeah, Rodgers and Adams are just gonna go nuts.
Nuts, yeah. I'm in an auction right now too, and I mean, dude, Devontae Adams, shot up there. It was like $67, $68. Every team gets $200. He was right below McCaffrey.
Yeah, I honestly think the only way he's not the wide receiver 1 is injury. That's it. Yeah. Because I think targets wise, he's gonna blow everyone else out of the water.
Yeah, this farewell tour is kind of exciting if you're an Adams or Rodgers.
Absolutely.
I think that whole
and you got to keep in mind both these guys are kind of auditioning too.
Yeah.
They're both most likely done in Green Bay after next year. So
yeah, and I'll be honest, I was willing to take Hopkins and even Diggs at the corner, like way above Adams. That's how I felt all year. Right. Not anymore.
Yeah, I felt the same way, and now it's like, I'd take him.
I'd take him over Tyreek.
Yeah,
right. Don't even question it.
Yeah.
All right, next trade popping.
Oh yeah, I guess I should say too. I'll probably just go with. Honestly, I might go with the Cam Akers side. 1719, that's good. Aaron Jones, again, he's going to have a great 2021 season, but after that, it's just about as up in the air as Akers to me, so I might as well just take the higher picks.
I think that Green Bay offense is going to be amazing this year, so I'm going to take the guy with 2 feet again and roll with him.
I can't blame you.
Yeah. You're a doc. I thought for sure you'd take the 2-footed guy.
I got faith that the medicine's passed on enough.
All right, this next trade, I think this is a good gauge, too, of how you feel about Darrell Henderson. And we'll just do straight up to heck with the 2.7 pick. Chris Carson for Darrell Henderson. Who would you rather have?
I actually think I'd rather have Henderson.
Really?
Yeah. Because for this year, I know for at least this year, Henderson's going to have running back 1 value. Carson himself's had a lot of injury issues, but Henderson, people act like Henderson's been around. He only got drafted a year before Cam Akers did. It's not like he's been around a super long time. He's still pretty young himself. So on the chance, too, that Akers isn't quite to where, he was before, then Henderson ends up being the starter for a good or getting, the majority of the carries for a good. So, Carson's been around. He's had a lot of punishment, had the injuries. I think I'd take the lottery ticket on Henderson and take a guy who I think might beat him out this year just straight up. And at the worst case, you just kind of deal with it.
And I like Chris Carson. He's one of my underrated backs.
Yeah.
But I think I'll go with the youth here in Henderson too, because if he does come out and perform, man, that the running back position for the Rams is looking like an elite position right now.
Yeah, it's one of those spots where you just plug a guy in. And
not that Seattle's not though. That's where it gets confusing.
That's true, and that's the thing. Carson, we've talked about too. He's really good, criminally underrated, but he will get banged up.
Right.
And now it's been quite a few years now that he's been.
And he's starting to reach that age, too, where you're like, all right, next trade here popping up, another one where we got Akers and Henderson. So we got for Melvin Gordon, Sutton in the 1.8, or are you taking the Akers, Henderson in the 9 side?
So for me, I'm actually going to go with the Akers side. I feel pretty confident about that, actually, just because, I think Gordon's done. Done. And Sutton, at this point, is right where Akers is. He's coming off a big injury. I don't really know what happens next. So, as much as I like Sutton, I think he'll be all right. The picks are, a minimal swap. So I'm going to take a guy in Akers that I feel like has the most value still, or the most potential value still.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to take the Akers side on this one, only because he's getting Henderson, too, so you kind of covered yourself there. Because I do think, possibly Henderson could shock all of us. I wouldn't be surprised at all. All right, guys, stick around, too. I had a bunch of these. I just picked a few and brought them in today. I'll pop a few more of the Akers Henderson trades up for you guys to watch at the end. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you could, hit the like and subscribe button. Come be a part of the Masters family. Any last words, Doc?
Follow me on Twitter.
There you go. Follow me, too, on Twitter, guys. Come talk some Dynasty football with us.
Yes.